Welcome to the AI Riff, where we cut through the noise and break down the top AI stories of the week with real talk and real relevance. No hype, no fluff, just a vendor agnostic take on what's actually shaping your world today. Whether you're in tech, lending, or just trying to make sense of the headlines, we're here to separate the wheat from the chaff and the facts from fiction. Now let's get started with your hosts, Mario DiBenedetto, Rob Katz, Ruth Lee, and me, Kyle Meyers. We hope you enjoy this episode of the AI Riff.
Welcome to episode 26, and I got nothing to say about the number 26.
It's a there are totally two numbers, boring, 2 and 6.
It's a totally boring number.
Yeah, it's
but
double
it's
13.
A perfectly good one. It is the next in our journey.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it a double baker's dozen? There we go.
I've never ordered such a thing, but okay.
You don't order a baker's dozen.
Then you don't go to Krispy Kreme. Go to Krispy Kreme and get a double baker's dozen. No, I don't do that. I promise. I don't. I'm not that much of a sweets fan.
I was like, that's a young person's game.
That is a young person. That's an all-you-can-eat menu.
That's more sugar than this man can handle. I know it. So
I think my cardiologist would hang me.
Yeah. Mario, what do we got?
So today we're going to talk about how AI really isn't as easy as you might think it is, and it's
easy as can be, easy as pie.
Well, that's what everybody's saying. Right? It's like all you need is ChatGPT. You got it. It's a little this, little that.
My wife make a pie. It's not as easy as pie. Pie is not easy.
So Kyle, I don't want you poo-pooing this because there are statistics in this, and sometimes you say statistics can say anything. So anyway, there's this CB Insights. If you don't follow CB Insights, by the way, it's like crazy volumes of data. Right? They track all the vendors in different segments of AI. Like they're crazy good. And we can give the link out after the fact. But they did an evaluation. And just a couple of quick stats. 72% of the people who they studied were having integration challenges with their existing systems in AI. 67% were having security and compliance challenges. 56% were having cost and budget problems. It's half of the people they studied their AI projects were stuck in the evaluation phase. So let's just pause before we get into our normal riff and banter and recognize hey, everybody, it's not you.
No.
It's not just you that's like, why don't we have any AI? Like, why is it just me using ChatGPT and there's no AI in my systems doing all this and doing all that? Like, where's it all going?
But if you see on LinkedIn or some of these other ones, they have these really vicious little advertisements about how, and I've been really involved with AI and I'm like, well, maybe I am way behind. But the reality is that is a Blinkist on AI all of a sudden going to get me to the next level? I just don't think so.
No,
it's just harder than they think that it is. Easy to do one thing. Now add on 2 or 3 others.
No, agents are everywhere. They're agentic. They're doing all their stuff. They're running wild. They're talking to each other. Didn't you see that? I saw the press release.
Did you give
my credit card? Woo.
No credit cards online. Don't give those out.
So
that's I use it. Our company uses it every day.
I use 100%. It every day. Yeah.
To basically do menial tasks. To look up stuff, to validate what they're already doing, but is it improving their efficiency? It may be helping with their accuracy, but I don't know if it's improving their efficiency. So these guys that tout online, oh yeah, look at this. Well, we're 100%. If you're not using AI, you're in the dust. It's like, yeah, I use AI to do a once over on some presentations and make sure I got it as jazzy as I need to. But honestly, I don't think I'm in the dust if I don't use it. I think I could do it on my own too.
I think it's this very, because I've had conversations with people who have this notion that you're going to just shove stuff into a computer, and then out will pop this beautiful UI, this amazing piece of software that is going to solve problems just by you talking to it. And that can happen. But getting there is, as everything else is, just not quite that darn easy. And you have to know
Money.
what you're
You
doing.
have to spend money and time.
If
yes.
you want to spend some money, you can get that, Ruth. Come on. Step up
Well,
to the
and
plate. Drop the big dollars.
it's like, when I talk to people and they're like, well, I just code in ChatGPT and then I plop it into Cursor AI. Well, that's great until
sounds
it
like
doesn't
Rob.
work.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like
how do
Rob.
you know what that means?
So I was talking to somebody I know. So it's a casual conversation, but he's a CTO at a lender, and I have a little note of something that I grabbed from one of the governance things that I was reading along the way, and so I just in passing said, yeah, well, you as CTO, you've got to put a framework together that anything that's going to go out has privacy considerations taken care of, security considerations, bias and fairness considerations, reliability, transparency, and explainability. Like you need to put something in place so that everything that anybody ever says they're going to use within your company, other than just regular chat, abides by all that. And it's like, and he's like, yeah, I guess, yeah. It's like, just that alone is daunting, right? It's daunting to think realistically. Like if you're really going to use something, unless it just doesn't touch any SPI, it doesn't have any business secrets, it doesn't have any, like, then you start to say, well, then what's it doing? Is it actually useful?
Right. And then also you got to look at it from the back way. You went from the top down. What about from the down up when you got vendors coming to you and then say, I want to do this for you in AI, and you don't have a robust vendor management plan? Well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get these vendors that are using AI and they're exposing you to risk that you don't even know about. That all of a sudden they get sued for doing something in an inappropriate way. You're in trouble. So you've got to make sure that your vendors are actually adhering, or at least are visibly or openly sharing exactly what they're doing with the data, where it's coming from, how they're making decisions, and they're documenting what their AI is doing, because you need it.
Well, and I think that, it's just like you can slap AI into your URL, you can slap AI onto your marketing, but we're already seeing that, the human in the loop quite often is just a group of outsourced people in another country who, I mean, it's kind of like when we would talk about OCR back in the day, and I was like, oh yeah, so your OCR is a group of 30 people who are all comparing the 3s and the 8s. Sure. Okay. Well, that's not really character recognition. I mean, it is, but.
Well, what's OCR? What's the definition? Optical, right? Character recognition. So they use their eye and they recognize the characters. It's an optical character. They're not lying.
But I mean, for what people are thinking that they're quite often getting, there's still that disconnect, and the fact that people are more wowed with the hype of AI, and they also feel as though, is my company going to fall behind unless we can, say that we are AI enabled? I mean, very few companies are AI native. I mean, almost none. I mean, unless they started in the last few years, they're just not. And so AI enabled, okay, well, I'm AI enabled. I use AI all day, every day.
My phone, if you've got your phone with you, you're AI enabled.
So let's flip it around, right? It's hard. CB Insight study says it is hard. And it's particularly hard to do something agentic, right? Where something has some sort of ability to act on its own in some way, shape, or form, at least automatically. What things have we seen that really work, that people are having some success with? And I'm going to give a generic answer because it's yet another study. And I mentioned this tool in a prior episode. There's a tool called Open Router that is open source. It sits on top. You can tell it which models to use, but it has a default, and it just basically federates things out to multiple models and then brings them back. And it's becoming a more common way to do things, so you don't get dependent upon the flakiness of one model over another, or the upgrade or whatever. And and they've got it so that it's really low latency, like low overhead to do or whatever. But over billions of requests that they had seen go through their platform, it's the same two things from episodes, like however, at least 10 episodes ago, where we talked about writing. Well, that's not enterprise. Like that's, really hard to do a lot unless you're a marketing company or something, right? Writing and coding. Coding has continued to progress.
Mm-hmm.
And they said coding is the place where they're getting the patterns because they're mimicking programmers, so they can have coding inside the coding engines. They can have an AI that knows how to call out to some other tools, knows how to assimilate stuff back, knows how to call out to some more tools. So it's what we're promised with agentic, but I'm not seeing a lot of people who really have live agentic things.
The ones that people are still talking about them. Most people are still in the planning phases. And, what I have always recommended is if you're going to add agentic, make sure it's on an existing operational workflow. Don't think that you're just going to invent a workflow out of, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that we as an industry all often fall sway to the idea that we're going to reinvent our entire process. And we're always reinventing our process. I mean, it happens every single day. But, to come at it completely from a new space, I'd also say that you have to be in a really structured, data heavy environment. It is much harder to do agentic if you're going structured, non-structured. It's looking across emails, it's looking across reviews, it's doing, stuff that's quite often just not.
Don't give away our next podcast. Okay. So.
Yeah, that's the next episode.
That's the next episode. Ruth's jumping 2 strokes ahead. Oh my gosh.
But you brought up the point, Maria, and it's really good at retrieving things. It's really good at reconciling things. It's really good at routing.
I think it's still good. It's good at being an assistant.
Yes.
But to me, that's not agentic, right? Because agentic, you could say that the assistant stuff could be agentic. Assistant to me is just a glorified ChatGPT, right? It's really just a well-prompted or well-structured way to go get that stuff.
But does it have agency? Does it act on its own?
It does not have agency. That is correct.
I don't know very many people, especially not in our industry, who are hugely comfortable. The trust isn't there yet. There will come a point where it will be more trustworthy, but still, as we're, how many times do people find hallucinations in a week?
So Kyle, somebody shows up at your doorstep. Kyle, I got this agentic AI. It knows how to do self-employment calcs and underwriting for you. What do you say? Besides, once you pick yourself up off the floor laughing.
Yeah, you say, prove it. Show me.
Well, and I start asking, where's your data coming from? That's where I start asking, because quite often they're wanting to use.
It's funny. Our heads all go different places, right? Because mine is like, so I want to see the explainability. So when the auditor comes in and says, I underwrote that loan with your stuff, show me that I can prove every step of the decision-making process you did.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how complex it is. And we all go
like, similar. I said, prove it. Like, show me how it does it. Show me what it does. And if you can't explain what it does, you just say, you just put these in there and then you just trust the outcome.
It's trained.
It's trained.
Don't you know the AI is trained, Kyle?
Yeah. And again, we're talking about AI in the mortgage space. We're all mortgage people. So I just, in case someone's listening and they found this on somebody else's computer that you shouldn't be looking at, and they found this link and said, hey, what's this? Everyone's using AI all over the place in the companies I'm looking at. We're talking about mortgage companies, and we're also not talking about behind the scenes at like UWM or Rocket or those kinds of. We don't know what's going on back there. They may be. Who knows? They could be. I remember the old push button get mortgage was push button, have a lot of people run around and get something done, and then get a mortgage. It was never about the electronic. It was never about the remember DiTech? They were trying to the quick loan. You just kick the button and you get your loan, and
just that easy.
What? It's that easy. It is. But I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that we're in the mortgage space is a little different. And I think our expectations need to be a little more tempered. for when I have high hopes for AI. I honestly believe someone will solve that compliance, cost-effective, work in any process flow problem, and they're gonna do well. And if they can do that, they just got to be really smart about it. And we got to teach AI mortgage first, and then go and try to solve the problem. Like if you could teach AI to be a great mortgage loan officer, and then teach AI to be a great mortgage underwriter, then okay, now you can start solving workflow problems because AI can solve them for you. They could say, well, I need this for my loan to go through and you didn't give it to me. So we must go look at these points of failure and find out where the problems are. And AI can just go do it.
You know, if you had the ability, and this is where I think that it gets really exciting, is that where AI is always so interesting to me is having all of that visibility to my blind spot, right? When I produce that asset, you know, where am I missing? Because there's a zillion different entry points for corrupted data. There's a lot of different places where people are shifting. You know, you have, I mean, just in our industry, we have 3 different business models. I mean, we have origination, and then we have the whole thing that happens with the secondary and capital markets, and then servicing. And those, they don't meet and they don't match. And so but when we were talking earlier about where does our mind go, I think all of our mind went to explainability. Because when I'm looking at data, I'm like, where'd you get that data?
Yeah.
I mean, did you get that data from Facebook? Did you get that data where? Because I need to be able to prove that I'm not hitting some ECOA problems. I'm not, you know, that if I'm out there, you know, I'm not all of a sudden exposing myself to any type of regulatory grief. And I got to tell you, I haven't seen anything that is ironclad yet. These seem like the same problems that we had with RPA, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But to the original point of the article, 57%, did you say? We don't get it. Like they're like, not that they don't get it. They're like, no, we're having problems, but it's not easy. 50%, 57%, wasn't it? Say that
it was over half. Yeah.
That there's a problem in getting it. And that's across all industry though, right?
It is. It is.
If you button that down to mortgage, I'll bet you that number's even higher. Way higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably closer to 70 to 80% of the people. Because I don't know if that's call reluctance, you know, like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if I want to do this.
We're just a little too weathered, right? We've been around long enough to know if somebody comes at me with something, no matter what it is, AI or not, the first thing we're going to expect that they did was they solved the easy part of the problem. Oh, I did a 30-year fixed conforming loan. Good for you, right? That is the easiest possible thing we can do to, you know, something around that is the easiest possible thing. Now, what they, in most cases, don't realize if they haven't been in this industry is that the ridiculously crazy complications outside of that easy thing they just did. They think, oh, that's it. I got something end to end. I'm practically done. And they have barely scratched the surface of the complexity.
I mean, I'm in the non-QM space now, and it's like, I got to tell you, there's no out of the box anything.
Yeah, right.
The product is out of the box. So you're like, I mean, and you can make, although it's getting better, although there's many more people in the space, so it's getting a little more understanding. It's gaining market share, and it is a viable product for the future and for the near term and long term. But they still don't have. It's still considered boutique to write software for it, and that's the frustrating part: is to find someone that can tailor their software to any challenge within the process, which, you know, the company I'm with is solved a lot of those problems and they're doing okay. But everyone in every industry, whether it's agency or non-QM, you can get better, and we want to get better. It's just, where is AI to the rescue? We're hearing about it everywhere. And what other industry has that problem, you know?
Well, you mentioned business purpose loans, DSCR, and how, that has really evolved. It doesn't have nearly the regulatory impact. It does, it's just not as regulatory rich as some of the 30-year fixed. And so I would say that their 30-year fixed is actually quite complicated. And, where we've seen people kind of start to solve is around the HELOC edge, because it's,
Super simplified. Yeah.
very, very simple. And you can kind of manage the start to the end. And in a 30-year, the start could start with a broker and it could end with 5 different MSR trades. And so you have that entire arc of knowledge and data. And unfortunately, it's not interoperable. Doesn't match.
What percentage of seconds do you think are really sold though on the market? I don't think any seconds are is there a market for selling seconds on the secondary market? I mean, it's all pretty much local money, right? It's your own, it's either your bank branch doing it, your credit union's doing it, the HELOCs and HELoans. Isn't that pretty captive to the bank that's giving them? I mean,
I know that there are a few organizations, who have kind of really cut their teeth in the emerging technologies on HELOCs. And, maybe they're doing HELoans. I'm not entirely sure, but, having that open end, because it's kind of like a credit card, right? I mean, it's, it doesn't have nearly the level of disclosure. It doesn't have nearly the level of documentation, so it feels more credit. Now, when you're looking at, when you're looking at pricing, for example, I mean, there's another really hard one that you would think that's easy, right? Because it's if then. It's all logic based.
Yeah, a lot of if thens.
It's a lot of if then, and people are still struggling with getting proper pricing. And I don't know anybody who's going to say, you know what, I'm going to let an agent lock all my loans this month. I don't know anybody who's going to say that.
So let's get on a high note.
Yeah.
And I want to harken back to something you've done several times, Ruth, in different episodes, which is to gut check, like, okay, AI hasn't really been that prevalent for that long. Like, let's give it a break. For us to have expected that these complex things, right, agentic AI that has agency, that it's going to exist and be easy by this point in its lifetime is probably asking a lot anyway. Like, let's be realistic. We're going to get there. You're going to see some. I saw some stuff today on Claude Skills. It's kind of latest variation on stuff it's doing. It's super interesting and it looks like it has super potential, but like everything, we're not there. Like, it just came out. Like, we have stuff, we need to give it a little breathing room, right? Even the technology space with AI takes time to build the tooling and get the tools they're full and capable and everything else, right?
It's like blink. This is a business cycle. And people are like, it's not solved already? Yeah. Oh, it's over. We hate AI. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
How long did it take the batteried car to get over 300 miles? Like from the original battery operated car to,
it's a good question.
I don't mean hybrid. I mean just true battery. How long did it take for it to get over 300 miles? We want the over 300 mile an hour version of AI today. We don't want to wait because we see the battery car. We're going, hey, I can drive all the way across country. No, not yet.
And I think we should be complacent and happy with what it does, because I will tell you what it does is remarkable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what it doesn't do is solve all of Earth's problems in 3 years.
Yeah,
probably not. Yeah. But I think that's gonna kill our time today. I was hoping to get to 2 articles, but I guess we're gonna have to go to the next one on the next episode.
Save it.
Yeah, why not? So on that note, I'm Kyle Meyers.
I'm Ruth Lee.
And I'm still Mario DiBenedetto.
And this has been the AI Riff.
Wires hum like whispers in the deep dark night. Shadows dancing strange under neon light. Digits spinning fast like a gambler's hand. The clock chimes change, it's the new command. Oh, the future calls with a voice so clear, a melody of progress in every ear. No turning back, the wheels in motion, a tide of cold like the endless ocean. Binary prophets riding fading streams. Data flows like rivers, fueling all our dreams. Simple or savvy, it's all the same path. Under skies of innovation, we redraw the map. Oh, the future calls with a voice so clear, a melody of progress in every ear. No turning back, the wheels in motion, a tide of cold like the endless ocean. Set the rhythm to the beat of change we sing. Every click and hum a key that rings. A revolution, quiet, but it's vast. Building empires where echoes of futures cast. Oh, the future calls with a voice so clear, a melody of progress in every ear. No turning back, the wheels in motion, a tide of cold like the endless ocean.